So, as we stated coming into our Environmental Talk magazine, Shades of Green, Barter Town, commerce in the future. Well, we know energy is not going to be as easy to come by after the peak oil situation that we're expecting. As it has been, I would say the 20th century, we have probably been spoiled to cheap energy, and as we kind of scrape the bottom of the barrel with oil shale sands in Canada and deep water drilling, which was never the case during most of the 20th century from the oil companies, we better come up with something so that we're not, in each other's faces as they are in Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome. Oh, yeah. They basically, what they're doing is they've got biomass. Tina Turner runs the town, and I wanted to play that because she is part Cherokee, so we've got another Black History Month reference there from a wonderful singer who is very much still around, very much a beautiful older woman on the public scene. But anyway, enough of my diatribe. Kim McKenzie-Grant, John Hoffner, and Jenny Nazak here with you. And we've got Reed Sternberg from the Texas Green Network in the studio today. And, gosh, Reed, when did you start this thing? Because your monthly meetings are really becoming kind of legendary.
Well, thanks. We actually started in January of 2008. February of 2008 is when we had our first event. So I had 60 people at that very first event and haven't looked back since.
Shit, well, that's great. As a starting point, 60.
Yeah, we've ranged between 40 and 200 at every event we've ever had.
That's impressive.
So, yeah. Go ahead.
Well, and last month, now you've just started doing this in San Antonio too, haven't you?
That's right. In January, we had our inaugural San Antonio event. It was hosted by Holiday Inn has a green hotel program that they are piloting in San Antonio. The manager there has been great. He hosted our first event, didn't charge us a penny.
You don't know if he had heard of the Habitat Suites here in Austin, had he?
Oh, he's in touch with them. They're
cool.
all very tight. Yeah, they're doing all kinds of crazy things at that hotel. They're putting herb gardens and beehives on the roof of the hotel, among other things. It's pretty wild.
So their customers will open their windows maybe and
they'll get local honey from right upstairs when they have breakfast. Yeah, it's pretty cool. He's doing all kinds of stuff.
That is great. Well, I'm just amazed that they've got a big, huge corporation like Holiday Inn to back them up on it.
Well, everybody wants to be green now, that's for sure. Yeah. So why not Holiday Inn, I guess? No, but they really have done some cool stuff there. And the manager there, this guy Scott Larson, has just been amazing. He's all over the place. He's really cool.
That's great. Well, what inspired you? I mean, I know that Rick Sternberg, who has been sort of our videography for the environmental movement here for the last few decades that I've been around Central Texas. Did they infect you with this? Your mom and dad?
Yeah,
did they
those
infect
guys
you
are
with
responsible, I guess. Yeah. I mean, part of the story of the Texas Green Network is there's so many things that have to be done, that have to be focused on, so many organizations addressing them. And one of the things that I thought was important to be addressed was the economic aspect of bringing sustainability to the mainstream business world. And so what we formed essentially is the first green chamber of commerce in Texas. The other tagline to that is that we're accelerating the adoption of sustainable business practices in the Texas community. Some of this, I come to this more from a background of as much from networking as from having grown up around, the sustainability, the green crowd. So a lot of what led to deciding on Texas Green Network as something to focus on really came out of my own background, my own experiences. And I think part of the story of TGN is being that second generation environmentalist. My father was part of the group of environmentalists. He was making anti-nuclear videos, I guess, back in the 80s even. I always viewed his crowd as kind of outsiders trying to push their way in.
I think that's the way we saw ourselves,
too.
too.
Yeah. And
pioneers out in the wilderness, and now we're coming back in.
Well, having lived that from an early age and seen that, I think that my approach and my mission was to focus on trying to do it from the inside out. So, when I went to business school way back when at UT, I think the first words out of Rick's mouth were, "Where did we go wrong?" And it got even worse when he found out I was becoming a banker. But, when I was a banker is where part of the story began in seeing the opportunity for those two worlds to come together, seeing a mainstream opportunity to bring sustainability to what every company is doing. And I think the timing was just right with what we were doing, with every company from all walks of business wanting to, wanting to get involved in that kind of thing.
Well, that's a great view of it, that sometimes you can get a lot done on the outside, but on the inside, you can really have a sustainable effect, I guess.
A lot more.
Yeah,
Because there's not an us and them anymore.
Right.